What a great feeling. A great feeling. The breath of life, peace, power, and love. Sent from above, below, and all in between by divine essence of nature and the universe. To be here in this realm, in this dimension, to be productive in it, to be reflective in it, to know who we are. Peace, power, and love from Humam Abdulmalik, once again with Blackanized, international Nubian consciousness. Conscious chess moves as we move through this paradigm, through this quagmire of deceptive maze that tried to entrap us in our own mind, that been set up and produced and manufactured by those with a purpose in mind, with a plan in mind, to establish their domain of control of those of us with soul. But we must maintain our equilibrium and be balanced and tap into the divine essence of us as a people and meet this obstacle head on, and don't let it deter us from or deter us from our objective and goals in life. To come together in harmony, peace, and love, in a direction that will clear all negative energy out of our being, out of ourselves, out of our families, and out of our communities. We have to tap into the source of divine energy and wake up and just live it like that breath of fresh air, that breath of life. Great day, great beginnings, again before the sun comes up, to motivate, stimulate, and agitate yourself, your immediate family, your immediate extended family, so that we can purify everything about us, the whole essence, so we can become a model community. That's what we need to do. We need to establish a model community where we come into the understanding that we want to purify ourselves, and in order to purify our community and be protectors and guardians of what goes on in our community. We still have this virus or epidemic in our community of inflicting harm upon ourselves and someone else, inflicting harm upon our seeds in our community. And so much more we have to do in our community, but those are urgent needs that we need to get on top of and correct. Also criminal activity and all that in our community. Everything that's a negative nature in our community, we need to stop. We should not allow ourselves be subjected to this stimuli for those that want us to be in that type of mentality, in that type of mindset, so that we can be manipulated, also looked at as devalued human beings because of the actions that we may project in our communities, not all of us, but a certain element that we need to reach. And those who need or want the help, we be there to be able to help them and guide them, whatever area it is in their lives that they need the help in. You got one segment or fraction of our young adults have a problem with, the activity of drugs, and through that activity, a shooting come out of that and all that. We got to deal with that issue. The way we deal with that is get our young adults to reason within themselves to see that the harmful effects that they do in our community has a big, large ripple effect that not only affect one or two people, it affects a whole group of people, families and everything, and then can rebound and affect themselves. And they have to realize that it's by design. It's an outside force to want you to be that way, to cripple you in our community. We have to stop that. You have to stop that as our young warriors and guardians and protectors in our community. Y'all have leadership qualities that there's a lot of people that look up to you and respect you for your activity, or just for being you, how strong you are. So that if you put it in the proper perspective, wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't you love to have somebody look up to you in a way that it would be not a detriment, but it will be an aspect of their growth and development, to look at you as a person that has a positive example in our community? The same energy that you put into that negative attitude or disposition or way of life that you live in is the same type of energy and everything that you can put in a legit, positive way of life that you can live. We need you in our community. We need you to be protectors in our community. We need you because you are us. You're part of us. And we have to deal with it like that and think like that. As this village, we must get our village much better. And we won't give up on you. You can't give up on yourself. And then the other situation with that is pedophile, sexual ring, or prostitutional ring, or whatever it is with our young sisters, or dysfunctional family, or whatever is going on, that must stop too. Because again, that's our seed, that's our children. We must protect them. We must protect them from themselves first and foremost, and we must protect them from predators. Because it's harmful. It's harmful for their stability, their mental stability, their mental growth. If something going on, that affects them in that way, and if it's close to home, then it's really a deterrent. They don't know where to turn. We got to have some purified minds and some purified people, family, extended family members, to be able to deal with that situation, to guide them through this quagmire, deceptive maze that they be in, being manipulated for materialism, some, or this, some may be running from home, running away from home. Could be possibility. But we got to look at it as what it is. We got to look at the utmost negative aspect of it, that is pedophiles and predators. And if we look at it that way, we'll be more helpful. We will be more in depth in our protecting our youth and all that. I want to say Ashe to Sister Lisa again, tuning in early in the morning before the sun come up. I say Ashe, peace, Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for tuning in. And or something is said that will motivate, stimulate, or agitate you to be more active in your community, which I know you are, in your environment and your involvement in your environment, to keep it pure and sanctified and in a righteous conduct and attitude to stimulate other people to join in partnership in that endeavor. This is not just a local situation that we're going through, but it is a national situation, a national deterrent in our communities that we must fight against on all levels, beginning with ourselves first, and spiritual, mental, and a physical way to develop ourselves so that we can be better in dealing with the situation that exists in our communities. A situation that exists that shouldn't exist. We shouldn't allow it to exist. We got to be more diligent in dealing with all aspects of what goes on in our community. It's not a police job. It's not the government's job. It's our job as the citizens or the families that's in each and every community across the board, beginning with Washington, Baltimore, New York, Philly, wherever this is occurring at. We must come together and unify in a uniform manner to be more proactive, more productive in what goes on in our community and how it goes on in our community. We can see it wasn't no like media dealing with this situation at all for a minute. Social media picked it up though, and people, activists in our community who have been like victims of this syndrome of our missing children, and activists in the same sense. They really got the ball rolling, that really opened and put light on the subject matter. And now I see more people saying something about it. I see more people, ready to stand up and have the same concept of that it takes the community, it takes the village to deal with this subject matter. And that is a true bill, It don't take legislation to do that. It takes it takes love to do that. And we got to do it. We got to do it by developing ourselves in a healing way, a loving way, because a lot of it might be based on a lack of love or whatever, on both fronts. We got to have things in place to deal with this situation, but we got to find the source of this and deal with that source. And we know that that is a very, very big job there, because we know that this is a well-organized, gigantic machine that we're dealing with, mentality. And then it's a lot of things that's infused in that. We just can't get caught up in a sexual predator or prostitution ring or whatever. Some of this can be because of body parts and things of that nature. And we know that it's a big business. Whatever it is, we gotta stop it happening to us in our community. And I see that Brother Henderson Long is up, and that's one of the the essence of the Creator is awesome. I was just reading a little quote from the other sister that has joined, Teresa Proctor, about what I was just talking about the community being a part of it. That was her thoughts, right? And now she just joined. I want to say Hotep, peace, salam alaikum. And this is her book that I'm still reading. You know, I got to reading it late. Matter of fact, I've been up all night. I've been reading and meditating and trancing out or whatever, but that's divine decree, how the energy and the synergy bring us together as a people. The same thought and the same feelings and the same energy, the synergy that connects us as divine people. And then I was just saying, Brother Henderson, I know he up. I just seen him post something, and he's one of the people that really, I think, put a fire under this situation, because before it wasn't no media talking about it, this going out, and this when I was saying this every day, dang, somebody getting missing every day. Well, no media, nothing being said, but this brother and Felicia Harris was out there all the time, been out there for years dealing with the situation, and I just seen him come across, and then Sister Proctor and Lisa Ewan and whoever else may be listening. It's all by divine decree that we're connected with that one purpose in mind and heart to deal with our situation, us as the people, not the police nor the government. Because as I was saying last night, we are the first line of defense. We are before 911. We are the people who have to have a preventive measure. We should prevent anything from happening so it won't get to no next level. We need to do that because we are the first line of defense. We are the ones that's right in the community, right next door, or to these sisters that became missing. We should have seen something or heard something or seen a difference in acts or whatever, or a stranger in the community or whatever. We got to be more observant. We got to be more vigilant in our communities. We got to be motivated to be part of this village, to be part of these families that's coming together to protect our children. We got to do this with love and with understanding and be vigilant in it. We got to be very vigilant in it. We got to be very determined as a people. We got to just come together under the umbrella of protection, the umbrella of peace and love and direction. And like I was saying and thinking, we need to make our city a model city. I'm talking about Washington. I'm talking about Ward 8. We need to develop it where it becomes a model ward, then spring out to Washington, whatever. But we should begin here, where most of the missing sisters are being taken from Southeast Washington. So we need to stop this. We need to reach out. If it's like they're doing it on their own for some particular reason, we need to be able to talk to them. Sisters need to go to them and be able to talk to them and guide them through this quagmire, deceptive maze they may be in. And we just got, and the brothers got to be more watchful. The sisters, the mothers and fathers got to be more watchful in our communities of everything, every activity. We got to be more neighborly to our neighbors. If we know that some our neighbors might be dysfunctional on drugs or whatever, we need to be watchful of them and be helpful to them and their family. And, be helpful in a way that, like, if it's a daughter or son that want to run away, we got to, promote not doing that. We got to be an extended family member and help them come together. We got to be firm in that. We got to do that as a extended family member of a village, of being in the blackness of who we are, in the divine essence of who we are. We just got to do it. We cannot stand idly by and do nothing. We just can't see something being done wrongly in our community and don't say nothing. I ain't talking about dealing with the police. I'm talking about dealing with the subject matter of us in our community, speaking to whoever's doing something wrong in our community that may affect our community in a harmful way, and be this woman enough, man enough, group enough to go deal with the situation and talk and try to be able to confirm some firm beliefs in these situations where you have help, you have people to love you, that will wrap that love around you. All you got to do is be open to it, and we got to be open and willing to do that. We have to be willing to go in the cesspool, in the quicksand, in the trenches, and deal with our situation. We have to go on the street corners. We have to go wherever we are needed. I was coming back from doing what I was doing yesterday, and I seen a sister fall. And, I was walking over there to give support, but then another lady and some other people came and helped her up, but there was some people over there that didn't even move like it was, something natural or whatever. They not laughing, but some were laughing. Then I was listening, watching and stuff, and then they're talking about she high off love boat and this and that. I know that when you get high off that, it's like an upper, but she fell down, bloom. And then I went in the store and came back. Then I asked the lady, was she all right? She said, yeah, and that's when I knew that she said that she was high off the love boat. I was saying love boat don't, do that. That's maybe something else, 2K or something, I don't know, drugs or whatever type of drugs. It ain't seem like love boat, because love boat usually have you up and all that. But the people did come to her assistance and stuff like that. But it's still in our community, and it has effects upon the female, the essence of life. A female sister, a goddess, the mother of life, and she's affected by that. We need to be more diligent. We need to personally purify ourselves so we can purify our community. And Sister Proctor said we have to go back, return to the way of the ancients. We most definitely have to go back to the ancient future, to where our ancestors left signs and told us to know thyself, and that where the truth is etched in stone. We must go back. We can't be caught up in this 2017 paradigm. 500 years of that, we was in captivity. 100 years thereafter, black law, Jim Crow law, and all that, and these fraudulent laws. And then in 63 or 64, we finally got civil rights, which should have been and should still be human rights. Then we got voting rights and all that. Fraudulent laws, in a fraudulent system, which I say is the United Snakes under hypocrisy. United Snakes of hypocrisy under satanic administration. That's my thoughts of this, to me, hypocritical society or system that's based on social narcotics, which is white supremacy and institutionalized racism, and then the injection of Willie Lynch syndrome to keep us off balance. That's why we must go black to the ancient future and be who we are by nature, not being racist, but being race people. We must love ourselves. We must heal ourselves. We must do all these things to rise up as the original people that we are, through our divine nature of knowing ourselves, who we are, where we come from, the original aborigine, the original indigenous, especially in this country. See, but we suffer on the continent from colonized mentality, and here we suffer from a slave mentality, and a lot of us, through integration, assimilation, association into the system, have assimilated so much that we have become Negropeans by selling our souls, and we cannot do that. We have to be like soldiers for the Creator, of the people, for the people, and by the people. We have to develop a different total mindset mindset by reprogramming ourselves, and all the indoctrination and so-called education that we acquired of Eurocentric principles and all that. We got to get into African spirituality so we can cleanse ourselves up, cleanse our nature up, cleanse our thinking up. And that got to be done. We have to pass what we know on to our children. We have to develop our children with discipline and self-control and identity. But we got to protect them also. We got to do all these things in this day and time, because this day and time is upon us. It's upon us in this political climate that we're in, that they're trying to do something to implement what they're trying to do, a program or whatever, to promote that social narcotics or white supremacy. We can see it. It's at the top. We got a uncanny. He's not. I ain't gonna say he's a nitwit, but politically he's dumbfounded. But business-wise and all that, he got a little finesse with him as a what would we call slumlord or whatever. But as running the country, it ain't no joke about that. Even though it's a fraudulent laws and all that, but it got it's supposed to be about what, democratic, not demonic or none of that. But he ain't even running that right. His circle and everything, his cabinet, all of them is well known, say, white nationalists. All of them he's about the multi-millionaires or billionaires or whatever, but he's not about the other people, the other layers of people, you know. And so we are majority of those other layers of people. So that's why we got to come together. We got to develop a social system, infrastructure, and be about production. We got to be about entrepreneurs and those that have businesses. We must get our businesses back in our community and support one another. Or wherever there's black businesses within the city, Ward 8 or whatever, Washington, but we got to support each other. We got to come back into that, develop a Wall Street mentality. And don't be egotistic and self-centered and arrogant in the development or our dispositions. We got to do this harmoniously together as a people united. We got to unite once again. We got to get into that spirit of uniting, unification, organization, and development of an infrastructure. And I want to say one more thing, and I don't understand a situation, right, where, you know, we be here on this modal right here, and we meet a lot of people on Facebook and all, and some people be so very profound, right? And you like, man, God, dog, man, you know, I like to share and partake of that knowledge, or just sit back and listen. And then they go somewhere, but they be real deep, right? And then they might make a statement that you say, oh, he stopped here. He didn't go further back to the ancient future that, you know, I believe, and I think that it was the start of everything as far as we're concerned, because we're the original people. But the information of civilizations and all that, even about the theocratic understanding of far as deity and all that concept, I don't want to say G-O-D no more. I don't want to deal with that no more. I want to deal with the divine energy. I don't want to come out of the concept of how the European concept, they call this energy that G-O-D or whatever. But I want to say the first people to deal with that divine energy was us. And you make a statement about that because he was somewhere else. And then it like, man, I get a post for something from him like, he don't even want me on his page, or he don't want me to say anything. He kind of went hostile on me for what, I don't know, but it's cool. But we don't need that. I wasn't attacking the brother, I was just making a comment about ancient Kemet. And I think that where he stopped at was a little before, after ancient Kemet. And I was just asking a question. But the brother is so profound and I mean, deep that, man, I'd be like, woo, and I'm just, as a student teacher, I need to, pull from where I can pull from or put in where I can put in. But the brother went off, and we don't need that. If we're on a spiritual path or of our ancestors, we don't need that hostility among people who are conscious or whatever. And I'm not going to call his name. I'm not going to say nothing about, that. I just said what I said, but we don't need that amongst us. And what the strangest thing about it, I'm complimenting him, and he cut me off. I can't even get on his page and ask him why. Why is it like that? But it's cool. It's the essence of what it is. Everything happened by divine decree, and everything he was talking about I knew and all that, but he was using a different perspective and different language. But I like all my brothers, conscious brothers, spiritual warriors and stuff like that. I love my brother, Young Pharaoh, Phil Valentine, even that brother. I love him because the information he had was pertinent, that will uplift and build us up as spiritual beings or conscious beings, of what's happening as far as energy coming down and we being able to deal with not only on the third dimension or fourth dimension, but we're talking about the fifth dimension and all that, those realms like that, in a spiritual, esoteric, arcane type of way, so that we can be better and being human beings in this dimension where we at, and be protected of our seeds and our children and our elders, so that in this realm that those young children can be our next generation of leaders. And I want to say thank the strong sisters that are conscious of who they are and always there in the midst of whatever battle we have. Our sisters were always there, and our youth were always there when they got it right. But we can't put our youth out there in the middle. We got to all be out there. We got to be out there in development. We got to be out there in healing. We got to be out there partaking of developing our community. And let's make this a model city. Let's stop taking drugs. Let's stop using drugs. Let's stop selling drugs. Let's come together and do businesses legitimately, so we ain't got to worry about the slave catcher or the police in our community. Let's be more diligent so we won't allow nobody in our community to snatch our children, and be more vigilant. And if our children going to do that because they think that's easy money or whatever, we console them and show them a better way. And if it's a family issue, we got to talk to that. We got to deal with every aspect, be willing to deal with that. And everybody got to be susceptible to the help. And if, like, the government had things in position to help us, and now Councilman Trayon White has the vision to help us, then we partake of that. But the main objective is the community got to be the protectors of the community. We are the first line of defense against every disease or virus in our community with ill effects. We got to do that. So I want to say today, each and every day that we have that breath of life, every day we come together and we in a divine way to uplift ourselves, to develop an environment, a safe environment, starting with ourselves, our family, our next door neighbor, then the community. And it just spreads out in the divine light and energy that we produce as the people, the original people of our community, the conscious people, the righteous people, the soldiers in our community, and especially our women, our goddesses and our queens. You must still, that strength that y'all emit, that energy that y'all emit, y'all are so pertinent that we as the brothers and the men and the kings and gods, we must We must support y'all. We must be behind y'all to protect y'all as y'all teach our children. And we got to be protected of our children and our elders. We got to also protect. They in a state of fear. That's why we got to be a model community. We got to have our young brothers come off them corners and show our elders that they don't have to be scared. And not only that, our children have the same fear of coming outside and be able to play. You know, it should be safe for everybody. And we got to develop that. We are the first line of defense. I want to say thank everybody for whatever effort they put forth every day of their life to make it a better place for us to live as a people, as black people, manifest this reality of who we are, what we are, in harmony, peace, and love. I love y'all every day of my life that I'm woke, because I love myself and I love my people. I am a race man. I'm not racist. I'm a race man and I'm a realist. And I know that it's a silent war going on, and it's been going on, because they want to implement what they call a new world order. Out of chaos and confusion, they're trying to bring it about, especially in this political climate. They got a foolish dictator in there today at this time, and he got a circle of or a team of racist white nationalists, and that's the reality. And we just got to be mindful of that and be observant. But we got to observe our community first and foremost. That's on a national level. But what's happening local to our children, that's where our focus should be at right now. On the street corners, in the homes, and everywhere. We must stop this. We got to stop it. Peace, power, and love. Y'all have a great day, and hug somebody today, motivate, stimulate, and agitate somebody so you can elevate their thinking, so they can change their thinking into becoming part of this movement. Great day and love. Peace.